Stewardship is kicking off, this year a little bit literally. For today, we're going to focus briefly on the second lesson in the gospel reading with that stewardship theme in mind. It would be easy to skip over or dismiss the reading from Timothy, saying, oh, that's not for me, that's for the committee chairs or the Sunday school teachers or the pastor. But that would be kind of like thinking that a football game is just for the offensive line or the quarterback or the receivers. But it's not. In talking with my colleagues this week about this passage, I couldn't help but think of several bulletins I've seen in places over the years. Ones that, like ours, list all of the different worship volunteers for the day, the greeters, the readers, the ushers, and so on. But then at the very end of that list, there was one more. Ministers. And it listed all God's people. Ministers. All God's people. Because ministry is a team sport. One that everyone is part of. It's not something that's done for you or on your behalf. Rather, ministry is something that is done with a community of faith. It's a collective effort. It is a team sport. So yes, this passage is for all of us, because when that ball comes by, you get to pick it up and run with it. Now, you'll be hearing a lot about all of the ways that people are helping and all of the ways that you can join in throughout this month. And of course, you can join in all the time, and we talk about them throughout the year too, but we're just highlighting them a little bit more intentionally this month. Financial giving, volunteering, organizing, things that are one-time standalone events, things that are ongoing work. All of those things are here, and you can join in on them. So where do you start? Well, the stewardship team is going to be highlighting that through their talks this month, but I want to briefly turn to the gospel at this point. Jesus' parable, his story to illustrate his point, focuses on a widow who persists and succeeds in getting justice from an uncaring and hostile world. Why does she persist? Because she has to. Because what she seeks is vital. It's that important. It's so important that she can't not be persistent. We are also encouraged to be persistent with what matters. And I would say that there are things that we can't not pursue. So where to engage? Well, start thinking about that maybe. Think, what is it that you can't not pursue? What is it that you wouldn't want to see given up on? Start with what matters to you. And of course, you can begin or continue with prayer, as the introduction to that parable says. Pray always and do not lose heart. And maybe as you're praying about these things, you'll suddenly notice a way or an opportunity will become clear for how you could engage with that issue, that ministry. And you can kind of, jump in and pick your spot on the team. As we heard in those verses from Timothy, be persistent. Whether the time is favorable or unfavorable, convince, rebuke, encourage with the utmost patience and teaching. And, just a couple of verses before that, so that everyone who belongs to God may be proficient, equipped for every good work. Ministers, all God's people. Pray always and do not lose heart. Pick up the ball and run with it. Go team.